Everyone, it's Misty here from TheJollyFatElf. I'm finally here with some real-time videos. This week, I'm going to be sharing with you 6 cards using the August 2019 Pandemonium, whatever card kit from Simon Stamp. I am so excited to be back crafting with you guys. This is real time. I'm filming this on August the 13th. So you're still going to see some pre-recorded stuff that's going to go up. And I'll talk more about that in an update video that hopefully I'll film tomorrow. So you guys probably saw me grab a piece of this grid paper for the Stamparatus. This is from Stampin' Up. It's left over from my demonstrator days. So I'm excited to have it back. Speaking of, been considering going back to Stampin' Up. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. You guys let me know. I won't be a full-time demonstrator, but like if you guys wanted classes and stuff like that, I would be doing that to help me keep my minimum or whatever. So anyway, I mounted these balloons from the stamp set, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp them 3 or 4 times here. I kind of messed up. I was trying not to have any overlap, and they did, but that's okay. So I wanted a balloon background. Initially, I thought I was going to do colorful balloons, and then I decided that I was going to go ahead and color these with my gray Copic markers. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the Panda bear and the Happy balloon set. You guys will see me use this balloon set a lot in this the next 2 videos, and I use this Panda several times as well. This stamp set is adorable. I don't know that the kit itself is worth it, but this stamp set is adorable. So if the kit is sold out, make sure you pick up the stamp set. It's 6x8. I guess it's worth it because the stamp set's, like $21 or whatever, and the kit's like $36 once you pay for shipping in the US. But like I mentioned in the unboxing video, the Doodlebug papers aren't from any one collection. It's like a collection of papers. So you could pull out your favorite, Doodlebug pad and get this stamp set and make a ton of birthday cards. So I'm using C2 and C0, I think, here to color in my balloons. I did a horrible job on shading. Balloons aren't my thing. I need to learn how to color them. I have a photo saved from Sunny Studios. One of their design team members stamped balloons and made them look like Mylar balloons, and they were amazing. So there you saw the colors that I'm going to use to color this. I did end up bringing R27. I felt like I wanted a little bit of a brighter red, and then the yellow, I think I bring in Y18. So, yeah, so you don't have to use color Copic markers to do this. You can use your Stampin' Blends if you have them, Spectrum Noir. You could probably even get away with using Crayola markers for this because it's not like I'm doing any like heavy blending here. I'm just kind of filling them in. I'm trying to leave a highlight, but again, that doesn't really work out. And then I'm going to go back over it anyway with a white gel pen. So it was kind of like, meh. Didn't really need them to blend, and sometimes you can get a decent blend with those Crayola Super Tips, I think is what they're called. But anyway, so I am back. I'm still not in the best of health. If you missed it, I will try to link at the end slate. All of those pictures are clickable, and I'll try to share the I spent some time in the hospital video. I've actually spent a couple of times in the hospital since I made that video. Back in June, I ruptured a disc in my back, and I couldn't walk. Because of the way it was pushing in on my spinal cord. So I spent about 6 weeks in a wheelchair, and I've been doing physical therapy. I just graduated yesterday. I did physical therapy for 2 full months. And I'm going to have back surgery on October the 7th. So it's not exactly what I want to do with my life, but I re-injured it a couple of weeks ago just doing something, just moving. So my doctor was like, why don't you just go ahead and have the surgery? So I went and saw my neurosurgeon, and he's like, let's do it. So I'm going to do it in October. So I'm going to do my best to have some cards made ahead. That way I can be a little bit more consistent on this channel. Back to the card, I'm going to take this piece of Doodlebug paper, and I wanted the stripes to go more vertically. So I went ahead and cut that down to, I think, a 1/2 inch. And then I used the piece of black from the kit and cut down a card base to 4 1/4 by 11, squared it at 5 1/2. And then I'm picking out an inside sentiment. Yeah, I decorated almost all of these cards on the inside. I want a medal. I think this one was like party like a panda, because birthdays only happen once a year or something like that. So I brought in this ink on 3 ink, and I went, because I thought I was going to use that little panda bear that's lying down, which I actually didn't end up using on any card, but he's adorable. But I didn't like the way it looked. I should have done like Stampin' Off or something like that, or just pulled in a gray, but I didn't. But the way I'm going to fix that is I'm going to bring in this piece of paper. I'm just going to use the backside with the candles. Fits the theme, and I was able to cover up that panda. So I'm going to use some Tombow liquid glue to get this adhered on the inside. You're going to see me go between liquid glue and tape runner. Whatever your favorite glue is, will do. I think this is my last bottle of Tombow, so I'm just trying to save it a little bit. I need to pick some up once I get some money. So the whole reason why I wanted this strip is because I wanted a way to ground my panda. And once I put him on the card, I realized that it was a little busy. So I brought in a piece of Pacific Point paper from Stampin' Up! And used their layering circle dies to cut that out with the scallop circle. And I love it. I really love how this turned out. I will say I do wish that I had stamped the background balloons a little softer, because I do think it can be a little busy with this happy, but I'm not so concerned about it. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to roll up a little glue dot and put it on his hand, and this is attached with some dimensionals. And then I'm going to bring in this Spectrum Noir shimmer pen that is included in the kit. If you missed my unboxing video, I did share a comparison between this, the Nouveau one, and the Wink of Stella. And again, I will link that on the inside. All of those images at the end of the video are clickable. So for the second card, I knew that I wanted to make a belated birthday, or sorry I missed your birthday card, because I am the queen of missing birthdays, even my own husband. Sometimes it just slips my mind. So I went ahead and decided to use this stripe paper. At first I wasn't going to, and I thought, yeah, let's go ahead. And then these are the Pink and Main stitched rectangle dies. And I brought in a couple. This is the one that's like the second from the largest. This is the one that's like fourth from the largest. And then I brought in the tiny one for the sentiment. I'm going to go ahead and cut these out using my Crafter's Companion Gemini. And I'm using just some washi tape that I have in my stash to adhere everything down. I just like to run the washi tape over the back of my hand and then put it on the paper. That way it doesn't shift, because you have to turn it upside down when you're in the Gemini or the Gemini Junior or whatever, and so they have a tendency to shift around. It's not that big a deal like on the white one, but on the sentiment and on the stripe ones, I don't want that crooked, so I went ahead and used some washi tape for that. I'm going to bring in that piece of black cardstock and this EK Success powder tool. I hate it. I don't know what I did with my embossing buddy. I can't remember if I sold it or if it's in my to be stowed pile, but I'm going to bring that puppy back out, because this powder tool is just crap. Seriously, if you guys have it and you love it, please share how you get the powder out, because seriously, I hate it. So I'm going to bring in some Versamark ink, and I'm using a grid that I got from Hobby Lobby 10 years ago. To stamp that, just so I can get it straight. I'm going to emboss it with some white embossing powder and heat it with my Stampin' Up! Heat tool. I love the Stampin' Up! Heat tool. It's the only one I've ever had that has lasted me, and I've had it since they brought it out again. So 3 years, 4 years, It's lasted me, and I do a lot of embossing if you follow me. So I'm going to go ahead and get this added. Like I said, I just run it on the back of my hand. That way it's still tacky, but it's not very tacky. Once I do that, after I grab a drink, I'm going to bring in the small rectangle, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp my panda. I'm using the Gina K Designs Amalgam ink, whatever, they're black ink. This ink is supposedly Copic safe, but I forgot to point out on the first card that there are a couple of spots where it's smeared. So you just have to be careful with it, I guess, but I was like, this is not supposed to smear. So I'm going to bring in a piece of Whisper White. I went ahead and cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4 to go on the inside of my card. And I'm going to stamp that sentiment along with a little party hat. Again, using that same Gina K Design ink. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a good ink, but sometimes it smears. It's not smear proof or whatever. And maybe it was just that one time, but it's happened a couple of times. So you just have to be careful. And maybe I had too much ink. I mean, it could be me. User error absolutely could happen. Absolutely could happen. Okay, so once I've stamped this, like I said, I'm going to bring in the little party hat and stamp that as well. I didn't keep track of these colors, and I apologize for that, but I'm pretty sure it was like R17 and R54, 55, and then I used a couple of BGs. So, like I said, I apologize, but yeah, I just didn't have them. I don't know why I didn't show them. I showed them in almost all the other times. So I really wanted to bring in some of the fun, bright colors from that pattern paper. This is that piece of pink. And again, I'm cutting it down to 4 1/4 by 11, scoring it at 5 1/2, using the Teflon bone folder, which I love. It's pricey, but it's heavy and it's awesome. So anyway, adding the Spectrum Noir pen. And then I'm going to adhere this. I think I adhere it crooked, and then I adjust it, and then it's still crooked. And I'm just a crooked person, guys. I'm just a crooked person. So I'm going to add some dimensional adhesive from Stampin' Up! To the back of the sentiment. And then I'm going to go ahead and color in using some greens, some yellows, some blues. And I actually used a gray for him, I think, or was it like no, it was like E00 or E50 something. And I didn't really care for it. I'm not one that likes warm shading, but I went ahead and went with it. So if I were to redo that card, I would go ahead and do something a little cooler, maybe a gray or something. So I'm just doing some simple 2 color blends here and just on the party hat, and the rest of it's just basically going to be really, really simple coloring. I don't have a whole lot of Copic markers, but I do have some. And if you guys are interested, I can give you, I have like 100 and something of them. So I have more than just a little bit, but thank you to all of you who purchased from my D-Stash. You've made it possible for me to get me some Copic markers. So I'm going to do some orange and some blue, and then I'm going to end up going around the panda, I believe, with a blue marker just to kind of help him stand out. It's probably BG11, if I had to guess. Honestly, can't remember. I literally just filmed this yesterday and just edited the video right now. Oh, yes, no, I am. Starting with BG11, then I'm going to go with BG10, and then I will come back with a blender pen to go all the way around. I just like having a little bit of a border around my images. I just think it helps them stick out a little bit more. So yeah. And then I'm going to attach this with dimensional adhesive as well. I also have the big Mama Jamma mounting foam from Scotch that I picked up from Amazon. But I had this pack of dimensionals, and I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and use them up. And they're a little bit easier on me sometimes than having to deal with that big huge roll. So I'm using my white gel pen to go over his eyes and his tears. And then I'm going to add the sentiment again that I embossed. And that's it for this card. After you're going to see me use this Stella on, Spectrum Noir shimmer pen on everything. And last but certainly not least is a card that turned out completely different than I thought I would. Pay no attention to the little panda lying down. I really wanted to use him on this card. And my idea for this card was to have him like on a pile of presents. So you're going to see me stamp all of the presents 2 times. And it just didn't end up working out. So don't pay any attention to him because he's not going to be on this card. And then, like I said, I didn't end up using him at all in this video. So, yeah, but he's really cute. And I already have an idea for Christmas with him. So we'll see. We'll see how we do. I know, yes, I'm already thinking about Christmas because I'm going to try to film ahead with my holiday card series. So here are the colors I'm using for these presents. I'm going to go ahead and speed through this and give you some music to listen and watch. You can see kind of what my idea was for this card. I really wanted him on top, and I just couldn't make it look the way I wanted to in my brain. I also had a little bit of a hard time cutting him out. I go Thursday to find out if I have rheumatoid arthritis because I've been dealing with a lot of swelling and issues in my joints. So anyway, I'm bringing in this blue denim mini ink cube from Gina K Designs. This matches the Copic marker I used, and it also matches the blue that's in that Doodlebug paper. So I'm just going to go ahead and adhere the pattern paper to a pumpkin pie card base. And this is the first card out of these 3 that I use that I don't decorate the inside. I mean, it basically has a sentiment on the outside, so there's not much else you can add. I mean, they have a lot of little sentiments on the inside that you can add, or that you can add for the inside, but sometimes I like to have just a note card so I can write a sentiment, or whoever has this card can write a sentiment. If you're interested in any of these cards, they will be for sale over on the Facebook group or Facebook page, or you can just message me. If you're interested, I do sell my cards. So yeah. So I'm adhering some of these popped up. I am adhering some of them flat. And then the last one, which is the tiniest little guy, is going to get adhered with 2 adhesives. That way it's kind of bigger on the front. I forgot to add the crystal pen before, or whatever this pen is called. I have no idea. Anyway, I meant to adhere that before I got started, but it didn't. So since that panda didn't work out, I went ahead and restamped the first panda. And you can see here I'm using some cool grays to kind of give him some shading. And then I cut him out with my scissors, and then I glued him down with some Tomo Mono liquid glue, and that was it. So here are the first 3 cards after, again, all of the glitter. I really love this kit. I don't know if it's still available. You'll have to look, but like I said, even if you don't get the kit, get the stamp set because it's amazing. So here on your screen, you're going to find 2 videos that you can click on to watch. Also, subscribe button for both of my channels. Thank you so much for watching me today, guys. I really appreciate you. I will see you guys on Friday with another video. Bye for now.